The meeting start at 9, right?
Start
Yeah,
now.
yes.
Okay.
So the participant mostly from the 5th semester from IPAC and a half from the outside, or maybe MY student also from regular.
I do the international class. International class here is we deliver our teaching or lecturing in English. Yeah, all in English. So that's introduce of me, and welcome Dr. Mara Ridhuan. Actually, we have a close relation with UKM, Universitas Kebangsaan Malaysia, because if it's not in COVID pandemic, we always visit your university once in a year. Mm-hmm. We always see Prof. Nuradifa Ahmad. Yeah, oh, yeah. I'm really close to her. I'm like a best friend. Oh, okay. And now, now I have joint research with Prof. Nuradifa and Dr. Ruhanita Maila. Yeah. Oh, okay. Joint research, yeah. So actually, we very close from IPAC. We call it IPAC and UKM, yeah. And I'm here is really happy that you have a time for us to giving up the like general lecture, and I hope we could have more relationship with Dr. Mara Ridhuan for the next step. Maybe we can like have a joint research as well with another lecturer, because we really should be have like the journal or article with other friends from the other university. And we IPAC usually in a year we have to like the visiting professor, like the from the other university from the foreign, to have a lecture with us. Yeah, so that's you are the first in our year, Dr. Mara. So I hope that this the good start for us to have a visiting lecturer. For the pandemic, I think that's have a positive effect, yeah, because it's easy. You don't have to travel to Indonesia. You don't have to spend much time to have to go. Usually, we have like 1 week to stay in Indonesia, in Yogyakarta, in our university. So here for the COVID-19 pandemic, it's like you have like just spend not until 3 hours to give our lecture. And this, I think that's good opportunity, yeah, for Dr. Mara and for us too. Okay, I think this maybe this I'll gonna thank to Pak Bahru Ilmi. Maybe you're gonna like be a moderator for this session. And thanks to all the students who already joined this meeting. I hope that we can still have a more visiting lecture to go in for this year. Okay, this is my speech, opening speech for me, and I'll give it back to moderator. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Dara Arum, for the speech. And well, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to bring you into our today's event, which is Visiting Professor, the Positive Approach to Accounting Theory. Mr. Bahrul Ilmi, our lecturer, will guide you to continue this event. For Mr. Bahrul, we give time to you. Sorry, Pak Bahrul, your voice is not hearing.
Ready?
Yeah,
oh,
ready.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Sister Eva, for your time. Okay, so I think I will start it with Basmalah before our starting our discussion today and our general lecture today. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, Uh, first of all, welcome to Associate Professor Dr. Mara. Thanks for coming, and it's a pleasure for me to see you in this section. And also thanks to Assistant Professor Arum Intersari, as Vice of IPEC Department, for organizing this session. So very happy. So this is good to see you all in the pandemic COVID-19, so we can discuss and we can uh, talk together. And today we have the visiting professor. This is from the UKM, Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. And we have Associate Professor Dr. Mara. So maybe I will say salam first to Dr. Mara. Dr. Mara, how are you today?
Good. Well,
Good.
doing
Okay.
well.
Good to, okay.
Are you? Are you?
Alhamdulillah, good. Good to see you, Doctor. Yeah. Okay. So how's Malaysia? How's Malaysia? Everything is okay?
In the Klang Valley is getting worse. The number keep increasing. The
Oh,
number, I think, the number of COVID cases keep increasing.
oh my God.
So, but I think it's still manageable. It's under control by our government.
Yeah. So actually, I'm a student also in International Islamic University Malaysia. So I cannot go to the Malaysia because Indonesia is banned by Malaysia.
Okay.
So where can I go to there?
Everything going online, huh?
Oh yeah, everything's go online. Okay, I think now the participant already about how many participants today? About 73. So I think we can start because I think the time is so fast. Okay, and then so during the presentation, please all the participants, please turn on the camera and also please turn off your microphones. So only Dr. Mara camera and also Dr. Mara microphone is on. So hopefully all of you can pay attention for this section. This is very important discussion, and also this is a very interesting discussion talking about a positive approach to financial accounting theory. So this is as the what we call that accounting theory students. So all of the accounting theory students have to join this section. Okay. So before starting, I want to read a little bit about Dr. Mara. So from his curriculum vitae along their experience. So the name actually the Associate Professor Dr. Mara Ridhuan Abdul Rahman. So currently he is the senior lecturer in School of Accounting, Faculty of Economic Management UKM, and also his excellency in coordinator executive program Bachelor of Accounting Pusat Perkembangan Pendidikan UKM. So he did for higher education for bachelor degree and also master degree in accounting from Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia, and also from his PhD and Doctor of Philosophy in Newcastle University UK. So his title is talking about the intellectual capital information disclosure in annual report too. So very interesting because my PhD also going to intellectual capital disclosure and report also. Okay, so he has a lot of publication and also a lot of experience as the lecturer because he's senior lecturer. So hopefully we can get the new insight. All of students, we can get the new insight, new discussion, also new input from the Dr. Mara. So I think the time is already 9, so we can start Dr. Mara to get speech. So Dr. Associate Professor Dr. Mara, this is time is yours.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, Dr. Anu, for inviting me to sharing just a preliminary idea about accounting theory. Okay, I'm very glad about that. And for information, I know Dr. Noradiva and Dr. Rahita. Okay, so Dr. Noradiva was our former head program, accounting head program. Now I am his accounting head program, replacing Dr. Noradiva. Okay, and thank you as well to Mr. Bahro. Okay, for I think you are moderator for the program, and also to our This segment is there's no name appear the screen. Okay. Without any further delay, let me share my screen. Okay. Can you enable screen sharing, participant screen sharing? Because I can't share my screen.
Give the authority to share the screen, I think.
Yes, we've already. Could
Oh,
you
what
please
about
share again?
okay.
Okay.
All right, thank
Okay,
you.
yep.
So I'd like to share today about positive approach into financial accounting theory. So in the poster it's about accounting theory, but actually I'm focusing about financial accounting theory. Because in accounting we have management accounting, financial accounting, audit, taxation, but this topic is dedicated to the financial accounting. Okay. So just a little bit more about myself, even though I have been mentioned by Mr. Baharu. So I'm 46, quite old. Okay, was born in Kelantan. So Kelantan is located in the east coast of Malaysia. And now I'm resident in Selangor for more than 20 years. Okay, for more than 20 years. And Selangor is about 40 kilometers from Kuala Lumpur, and I'm father of 2 children. So I've been teaching UKM since 1999 as a tutor, okay, until I furthered my study in 2008 in Newcastle, England, and I finished my PhD in 2011 or early 2012. And I'm still a lecturer in Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. I'm not professor, assistant professor, not even professor. I'm just a senior lecturer. And most of the thought process that I handle is mostly financial reporting, like intermediate L1 accounting theory, and it's a bit about management accounting. And in terms of research, I have a lot of interest in doing research, something like narrative corporate disclosure in annual report. Okay, and my latest study, if I could share with you about the effect of corporate announcement in social media on the stock price. Okay, that is my recent study that I'm doing with my master student. Okay, so just a little bit about me. So without any further delay, because the time is ticking by so fast, let me tell you about the table of content here. So we have a few subtopics that I will be delivering today. And what is accounting theory? Stream of accounting theory, positive accounting theory, or so-called PAC, and proceed to the original of PAC. Okay, and then we little bit discuss on the PAC and the 3 hypotheses, and just a brief about empirical studies undertaken under the PAC and PAC contribution, and finally I give a concluding remark at the end of this session. Okay, so this is a wise word. It's a quotable word from Albert Einstein. Okay, everybody know who is Albert Einstein. So he says that in theory, okay, in theory and practice are the same. Okay, but in practice they are not. Okay, so what we can understand from this statement is that people from outside there, especially from industry, always is keep blaming us for not teaching or for teaching theory which is not consistent with the industry. They see this as a disadvantage or flaw from academic side. Okay, but what I can tell you here is that not because of the theory is not applicable to the practice. Okay, not at all. The theory and practice from the theory perspective must be always the same, because the theory is something that is very robust, a very solid concept. Okay, and it's a very ideal concept to be applied in the industry or in the practice. The problem is that the practice do not follow the theory because of some reason. Okay, not because of the theory is wrong, not because the theory is not useful, but because of the practice do not apply the theory, sometimes because of the practicality. Okay, because of practicality, because sometimes the theory is sometimes is too ideal to be turned as a practice. That is the reason. Okay, so remember what I say is that theory, okay, is nothing wrong with the theory. The problem is that the practice don't follow the theory, okay, because of the practicality. Okay, because of the practicality. So, and why accounting student need to learn accounting theory? Okay, why accounting student need to learn accounting theory? So there's a misconception among accounting students that accounting is just a number. Okay, accounting is just a measurement, and accounting is just a recording and preparing a statement. That's it. Okay, and it's not happened to the accounting student. It's happened to the public as well. So the things that accounting does a mechanistic process of recording business information. But remember that accounting is more than a mechanistic process. Okay, it's more than a quantitative method in recording. But accounting is a robust discipline that a lot of theory underlie all the recording process. Okay, so why you need to learn accounting theory? Because for me, accounting theory is a key to the accounting knowledge. Okay, it's a key. You might go at the technical aspect of accounting, debit, credit, you know, all the adjustment, all the preparing financial statement. Okay, but you might very poor in understanding accounting theory. So if you are poor, okay, if you are not really good at accounting theory, so it will resulting in incapability, okay, to solve any issues, okay, in accounting. When you confront in any issue in accounting, you might not be solved it because what you have very, you are very poor in accounting theory. That is the reason I always advise my students. So please prepare yourself with strong accounting fundamental and accounting theory, okay, before you embark either on the industry, okay, or before you, if you choose to continue study in master or PhD level, okay. So that's the reason why I will share with you today about accounting. Okay, any questions so far? Any question? Okay, and what is theory? Okay, what is theory? Some people say that, okay, I have a theory. Okay, I have a theory, then blah, 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 blah. And they say this theory. They believe what they say, okay, they have opinion that what they think and what they say is theory. Okay, and and something that nothing to do with the calculation is a theory. Okay, that is not a theory in the real sense. Okay, that is not a real theory. It's a real sense. That is your personal opinion without supported by robust concept. Okay, robust concept and logical, it's not authored by strong logical argument. That is your personal opinion. So you should be able to differentiate between a theory and general statement of personal belief. Okay. Oh, yeah, the theory, to be called a theory. Okay. A theory is a coherent set of hypothetical. Coherence means interrelated of element. Okay, because theory cannot stand alone. Okay, because to be a good theory, okay, there must be many interrelated elements. Okay, a theory cannot stand with just one element. Okay, it couldn't be a strong. Coherent, what is element? Is a hypothetical, conceptual, and pragmatic principle. Okay, the hypothetical is like a tentative statement about a phenomena. Okay, just a tentative statement about phenomena, and until it's proven to be true. Okay, of course, there's a method how to prove the hypothetical. I mean the hypothesis, and this content of conceptual. Conceptual, I mean, refer to the logical reasoning about the phenomena. Okay, and about the strong idea. This is not the ad hoc idea. Okay, it's not about the gut feeling. It must be the strong idea. It must be logic, and it's pragmatic. Pragmatic means that it can be what's called is generalizable. That is suitable in any situation, in any places. Okay, and the theory, okay, that theory that we form, okay, can be a general framework of reference. Okay, general can be a framework to be referred. Okay, in the field of inquiry or in the field of investigation, in the field of research. That's why research needs a theory to guide them to accomplish in seeking the truth. Okay, right, in seeking the truth. And there are a lot of definition about this theory, but I think this is, for me, this is the best one from the Hendriksen's 1970. Okay. Any question from audience? Okay, and I say that theory
yes,
is not.
yes, I have a question.
Okay. No question.
I have a question. I want to ask, can you describe theory in a simple term, because I cannot understand.
I can't hear you clearly.
I want to, can you describe theory in a simple term, because I can't understand exactly
In
what is
what?
theory.
Theory in?
Simple term.
Important.
I want to understand, can you explain theory again?
Okay,
Okay.
maybe Dr. Mara, you can explain a little bit the example of the theory. Maybe can be a more understand something like that. I think.
Okay. So far, I give you definition about a theory. After this, I'll tell you the kind of theory and how to apply the theory. Okay. But what I can say is that theory is as I said, it's interrelated. It's a coherent element of hypothesis, concept, assumption, okay, and principle, and all those things where we combine together, it could be as a reference, okay, for our guideline where you are confronting with a certain issue, or where you are researching on a certain issue, okay. So like we have our Quran, for example, isn't it? So our Quran can be a reference for us, okay, where you confronting a certain issue, okay. But the Quran is general, is applicable to everything. But actually, sometimes it's very specific to the certain phenomena. All right. So I hope I am answering your question.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. So before continuing your speech, I think I have to say to all the participants. So please prepare your questions. So during the Dr. Mara explain about this issue, so please write down your question on your paper first, and then in the end of his speech, I think you can ask to Dr. Mara. So kindly, we just focus only his presentation first, and then in the end of his presentation, you can ask the question. Okay, so hopefully this is make a focus on his presentation. It's very interesting. So I hope we can get new insight from him. Okay, this kindly inform to all of the participants. So please pay attention. Okay, thank you, Dr. Mara. Dr. Mara.
All right. And theory, as I said, something is a theory is not fall from sky. It takes time to develop a theory. Okay, it's sometimes many years to develop a theory, and not everybody can develop a theory. It must be based on logical, coherent reasoning, and not ad hoc in nature, and not must based on the gut feeling or personal opinion. Okay, and the theory normally stable, okay, and generalizable. Okay, stable, that means a theory is logically true, okay, whether now or in the past and in the future. Okay, it's stable. The theory, okay, is true here in Malaysia and also in Indonesia and also in other, other country. Or maybe true, the theory have to be true in accounting setting, in economic setting, and in social setting, right? So the theory should be stable to become a good theory. And a theory can also, a theory must be generalizable. Okay, to become a theory, it must be generalizable. And that's mean when it's proven to be true in Malaysia, okay, it could be expected to be true in at least the whole Asia country. Okay, right. This is a common belief about a theory, but of course there are many critics on the theory, which I'm not sharing here. And however, theory still offer itself to the refinement. Okay, so we can refine the theory, okay, from time to time to improve their truth. Okay, normally theory can be improved from ongoing research, from ongoing research, from whoever, okay, whoever can refine the theory. So the theory, the theory can be used by anyone. It's not exclusively belong to somebody, or exclusively can be used by only a small group of people. So everybody can use the theory, and everybody can refine the theory. And also the theory can be falsified. Okay, it's subject to falsification. You can prove the theory is not true. Okay, you can prove the theory is not true, then because people think that if you prove the theory is not true, and it's a good for the knowledge development. Okay, it's good for the knowledge development. For example, 100 years ago, people believed that all swan is we call it answer, isn't it? Something like answer. Okay, all swan are black. Okay, all swan are black. It was believed. Okay, it was believed all swan are black 100 years until it's proven. Okay, it was proven that the theory, the black swan theory is untrue. Because why? Because they observe there are many black swans found in somewhere else from Europe country. That is important of the falsification in the theory. And can we say that theory be failed? Okay, I mentioned that theory must be stable, generalizable, but can we say theory be failed? Yeah. Okay, but please be mindful that the failure of theory is not absolute. It's not absolute. Okay, it must just doesn't fit. Okay, be in your mind that sometimes because you find that the theory cannot predict, okay, cannot prove what you predict, and you say that theory is failed, but it's not absolutely failed. Sometimes because of that, the theory doesn't fit your phenomena of the study, or in other words, you apply a wrong theory, okay, with the wrong setting. The reason why failure or the fitness of the theory. So why we need theory? As I said, as a reference for the research. Okay, and people say that when life is ambiguous, different assessment and interpretation emerge. That means people in ambiguity. Okay, people in ambiguity, in uncertain, or people have a different, people have a different assessment or interpretation about something, and people need to seek the truth. Okay, people need to seek the truth. That's why people need the theory to guide them. Okay, to guide them. So people cannot taking the truth from, from messy mind, from messy mind, from wild mind. They need a theory. I'll give you some example. As we all know that we have incidents. Okay, it's a very big incident from Malaysia about the MH307. The plane crashed somewhere. Never know until now. Okay, never know until now. Okay, so where is it now? It's ambiguous. There's ambiguity about the plane. Okay, where is it now? And when all the passengers? So in seeking the truth, to find the truth about where is the plane now, people come up with a different theory. Okay, people come up with different theory. People hold with a theory they believe. Some use technical or engineering theory. Maybe they predict because of the technical failure, and they need to prove whether their theory is right or not. And some other group may use a political theory, okay, because of terrorism and so on and so forth. Some other group may use mystical theory, a mystic theory. It's about the mystic. It's caused by the mystic factor, like a jinn, like a ghost, or they say that the plane did not crash. The plane just was the plane is just hanging around in the sky. Okay, but no theory. Okay, no theory has been proven to be true. Okay, until now. So why accounting needs theory? All right. Why accounting needs theory? If you remember that for the first year you study accounting, the first thing you study is about technical, about accounting equation, about debit and credit, about analyzing, about posting. Okay, without having exposed to the exposed to the theory in accounting. And from there, you think that accounting is just a technical issue. That's it. That is the ultimate function of accounting. Okay, but please bear in your mind that accounting is beyond than technical, beyond than mechanistic. Because why I'm saying that, because of the accounting is a complete ecosystem. It's a complete ecosystem. So that means accounting interact with human. Okay? Accounting interact with human. Accounting interact with accountant and interact with the people as a whole. And accountant become part of the economic and social activity. It's complete of ecosystem. Okay? And all the elements in ecosystem, all the elements in accounting ecosystem is dynamic, keep changing over time, okay, affecting and being affected by each other, Okay, accounting affect accountant. Accountant affect accountant can be affected by the society pressure. Accounting can be affected by the change in economic structure. You know, as we can see that accounting slowly growing, slowly evolving according to the change in the economic structure from the revolution. I mean, from the industrial revolution, from the IT era, from the knowledge economy. Now we are pushing. Now we are in the we call it IR4, isn't it? That's the Revolution 4. So when the economic structure change, the nature of business, the function of business keeps changing as well. The product keeps changing. Okay, so accounting needs to respond to the changing quickly in order to ensure that they are relevant. So accounting is more than technical, more than technical. It's about, it's also involve behavioral issue. No, it's also involve behavioral issue, ethical issue, motivation. Okay, beside inside the accounting paradigm. So to understand the change of the accounting environment and its environment, we need a theory. We need a theory to explain. And of course, there are many theories. There are many theories with different function, with a different purposes, with different concept to explain many issues about accounting in many settings. Okay? So therefore, as a result, accounting ambiguity and conflict continuously exists, and therefore there must be accounting theories to describe, to prescribe, and to predict the phenomena. Okay, so this is why we need an accounting theory. And what is accounting theory? What is accounting theory? People say that I need to answer. I need to answer accounting theory. Is there any theory question in the final exam, doctor? Yes. You think that the theory is text, where you answering text. Okay, where you answering in text, that means you answering theory question. For example, please explain, blah blah blah. Please briefly list down the factor of blah blah blah. And you say there is an accounting theory. Partly yes, but partly wrong. Okay. So in this topic, in this section, I would like to invite you to see more about the accounting theory. All right. So more than what you currently believe about the accounting theory. So many theories for accounting.
Okay, wait,
theory for
doctor.
accounting.
Sorry, doctor. Please turn off the microphone, please. I still heard another voice.
Maybe.
Is there, doctor?
Okay.
Pak Bahrul, if I'm not mistaken, there will be some the participant that recording the event, so that we cannot mute it. So please, everyone, we want to share this event, the video at our YouTube, and you can watch it later if you need to see again. So please stop the record now.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, we continue. So many theories of accounting. We don't have any specific one single theory to explain all the accounting issues. Okay, so there's no single theory, universally accepted as accounting theory, because the nature of theory is that when it fit the issues, okay, when the theory fit the issue, can be used in any setting. So for example, in accounting, accounting might borrow a theory from economics. Okay, we borrow from theory from management. We can borrow theory from psychology. We can borrow theory from political science. Okay, you can borrow any theory from any other from many disciplines, as long as it fits and appropriate to explain, to predict the phenomena about accounting. Okay, so the role and application of accounting theory, I say, depend on its relevance over perspective of financial reporting under the investigation. For example, want to study about gender issue in financial reporting. Okay, so you might use psychological theory. If you want to study about the effect of bonus scheme or financial reporting, you might borrow economic theory. Okay, or you want to study about the effect of management characteristic, you can borrow management theory, like the upper echelon theory. Okay, so that's why there's no specific theory in account. Okay, so whatever it is, okay, whatever it is, accounting theory, okay, is capable to guide us to understand and critically evaluate and making conclusions about the phenomena. Right, this is an important thing. Whatever you use, whatever theory you use, make sure it's capable to provide us, to guide us to critically evaluate and make a conclusion about it. So I give you some phenomena, some confrontation in accounting that need theories to explain. For example, how asset impairment should be considered. How? Let's say the impairment is the first time issue in your life. How impairment asset should be considered. So you need a theory, a guide. How potential loss should be measured and reported. It's not a real loss, it's potential loss. Which theory should you refer to? What are the motives behind accounting method choices among accountants? Any theory to explain the motivation? How culture affects financial report? Is there any difference between Chinese culture and Malay culture, between Western culture and Eastern culture on the way they report financial information? And we need a theory to explain that. We need a relevant theory. Are the political reason or political motivation influence accounting standard setting? Okay, or how corporate respond to the social expectation? So this is among, okay, but not limited to this issue. Issue that we need accounting theory to explain. And of course, there are many other issues to explore. If you further study in the master level or in the PhD level, okay, there are a lot of unresolved issues in accounting theory that you need to investigate. Okay. Okay. Speaking of accounting theory, original of accounting theory, the originality of accounting theory. Okay. Accounting theory, approach in accounting theory, okay, is evolved over time. It's many years. Okay, it's up maybe 60 to 70 years. Okay, before it become a acceptable and robust theory in academic field and in research field. Okay, so you can see from my screen the timeline. Okay, the movement or the evolution of the accounting approach. Okay, what started with the inductive approach from it happened in 1920s and 1960s. Okay, we call it inductive approach. And from 1960s to 1970s, okay, another second wave of theory emerged. We call as a normative approach or normative theory. Okay, and the last stream was positive approach that started to emerge in mid-late until mid to late 1970s. And until now, we still use a positive approach as well as normative approach. Okay, as well. What is deductive? What is inductive? What is normative? What is positive? In what way they are different? In what way they are different? And how they affect accounting knowledge, accounting practice. Okay, this is about what I will be sharing with you today. Okay, first is inductive approach. Happened a long time ago. Right? Inductive approach is an approach that involves descriptive in nature. Descriptive means is describe. It's just describe. Okay, where it was based on the observation of what small number of accountants did in the practice. And then it was described and induced as a theory of accounting. We call it inductive theory. Okay, so at that time, and maybe researcher observed what accountant did at that time. I mean, 60 years ago, okay, or 80 years ago. What accountant commonly practice in industry then is considered as a ideal, it's a good, and qualified as a convention and doctrine, and it's accepted as a theory. Okay, at that time, because a theory is considered as a practice. Okay, the practice to be looked as a theory. There's no logic or merit assessment made over the practice. Whether the practice is good or not doesn't matter. Okay, as long as it's widely practiced by accountants. Okay, for example, the doctrine of convertism and historical cost, pattern and Hatfield in 1972 and 1977, write down a research note about the theory of historical cost and theory of doctrine, theory of convertism, not the theory, sorry, the principle of convertism and the principle of historical cost. At that time, most of the accountants, majority of the accountants is too conservative. It's too conservative because why? They don't take into account any movement in the market value. They still carry reporting asset at historical cost over time. No adjustment is made over changing price. Okay, and they say that yeah, we have a principle of accounting called historical cost. All right, that's it. But some criticism was put on the inductive approach. Okay, was put on inductive. It says that inductive approach concentrate on the status quo. This is reactionary in attitude and cannot provide a basis upon which current practice may be evaluated or from which improvement may be deduced. All right. They say that it's inductive approach is rigid. No, it's rigid. They accept what accounting did as a practice. Okay. They didn't open to the new method to be introduced. Okay, to be introduced. Just focus. Just follow on what people did at that time. Okay. So it's only focused on what it is rather than what is not and what should be. Okay, and assume what is done by majority is the most appropriate practice. The most appropriate practice. So the flaw emerged from inductive approach lead to the second wave of the theory stream, so-called normative approach. Okay, because some group of accountants, some group of practitioners and academicians believe that we cannot rely on the inductive method, inductive approach. Okay, because it's too rigid. It's too rigid. Okay, there's no pragmatic in the theory. So they introduce normative theory, and normative theory is prescriptive in nature. It was based on the norm, best or ideal to be practiced by accountants and labeled as normative theory. Normative approach took a stance that inductive approach was not always right and should not be a followed theory. Okay, should not be a followed. For example, they say that historical cost accounting is not always right. Okay, it's right in certain setting, but it's not right in all settings, in all situations. It cannot be our theory to be followed. And of course, they come up with a new idea with the market value or fair value, okay, or fair value. So normative approach used logical argument and sought to develop a new method of accounting. For example, approach proposed current value as opposed to the historical cost in inductive theory. So that's why in normative approach, they prescribe. You know what the word prescribe, prescriptive. Prescriptive is a guideline, asks you to do and not to do, what to do and what not to do, do and don't. Okay, just like you go to the hospital or go to the clinic, a doctor prescribe you a medicine, isn't it? And prescribe you how to use a medicine. For example, take this pill 3 times a day, before or after meal. Okay. What else? Don't eat carbonated drinks. And many things. They describe you in order you to be regain your health. Okay. So just like in accounting, in normative approach, okay, they prescribe for accountant what accountant should do and what accountant should not do. Okay, that's it. And I think it's really as well, because they regulate accountant what to do and what not to do, and that's it. So they limit the knowledge of accounting within the boundaries of normative. This you do, this you don't. So as I said, normative approach usually involve political lobbying to regulate accounting rule and standard. Okay, you need to approach political parties or political people to ensure that any proposal that you make about accounting standard, for example, need to be regulated in court of law in the parliament. Okay, and of course there need a strong political lobbying group. So in Malaysia, we have what can I say is that Malaysia Institute of Accountants, you know, a strong political lobbying group. They approach Malaysian Accounting Standard Board. They approach Minister of Finance, okay, in order to regulate what they want, okay, in Parliament. So once regulated, the rule and guideline must be followed under the law, okay, under the law. An example of normative theory can be best discussed in the case of financial reporting conceptual framework. Of course, financial reporting conceptual framework is too long content to discuss. I'm not here, so maybe in other lecture, right? So financial reporting conceptual framework is not standard, but principal foundation. I mean, principle and fundamental foundation in which accounting reporting standard is built upon. So what is a reporting conceptual framework? As I said, that's why I said, reporting conceptual framework is a theory, but this is normative theory. Remember, financial reporting concept. I believe Indonesia, your country, Indonesia, has a financial reporting conceptual framework as well. Yeah. Okay, I remember. Am I right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, this is the theory. Okay, this is theory, but we call it normative theory. Okay, so the conceptual framework says that conceptual framework is defined as a coherent system of interrelated objective and fundamental that is expected to lead consistent standard and prescribe. You see the prescribe the nature, function, and the limit of financial accounting and financial statement. So by the definition itself, okay, we can see that this theory is clearly normative approved. It is normative approved because they prescribe, they provide guidelines in the standard how financial information should be calculated, should be measured, should be reported, and so on and so forth. So what's content of the conceptual framework? And they say that the conceptual framework prescribes the objective of financial reporting. Okay, the meaning of reporting entity, the usefulness of financial information. What is the usefulness of financial information? To ensure that financial reporting is useful for investor, for potential investor, for the creditor, for the lender, and so on and so forth. Okay, and in the conceptual framework also prescribed says that accounting information must have qualitative characteristics. They must have qualitative characteristics. That means financial information must have quality, must have a quality information. And how to measure quality, not to measure, how to define qualitative characteristics in financial reporting? Like accounting information must be relevant. Accounting information must be verifiable. Accounting information must be comparable. Accounting information must be justifiable. I can't remember. Comparable. You can have a look. Financial conceptual framework. Okay, there is a prescription about quality of financial information as mentioned in the conceptual framework. Okay, and you have to follow that. Okay, you have to follow that. And the meaning and element in financial statement, measurement, recognition, and recognition, how to measure, how to recognize, how to recognize, and all the principle and assumption underlying the accounting treatment. Okay, all of this is prescribed in the framework. Okay, so that is the second way of accounting theory approach, called normative. It happened in 1940s, 50s, like that. Okay, by a certain group of accountants called it Financial Accounting Standard Board. So many committees at that time were formed, okay, to study, to come up with a conceptual framework. So you need to study accounting theory. No, you need to study accounting history, okay, in America, to know in detail about how the conceptual framework was formed. It was originated in USA actually. Some critique on normative approach, okay, that say that the validity of theory should not be evaluated on its idealism, accounting practice. Okay, a group of people, maybe as from pure academic, they critique that. They say that a normative theory, okay, cannot be evaluated on its idealism because of these two ideals, because of these two what you call it, too beautiful in terms of ideal. Okay, now you can say it be good. Okay, you can say that the theory is good. Yes, the theory is good, but remember that accounting is not the value ladder. Accounting is not value ladder. Accounting is not you cannot limit accounting function. You cannot limit accounting knowledge as for the purpose of the practice. Accounting must be looked beyond than as a tool for economic purpose. Right? Accounting is what I call it, a value ladder. How to say it? Value ladder that accounting is and being affected. Okay, accountant will influence and being influenced. Accounting, is contribute to something, or accounting can change because of something else. So therefore, accounting must be understood from the positive theory. Positive theory is more advanced theory in understanding accounting. All right? So what is positive theory? So in the inductive approach, it's a descriptive. In the normative approach, it's just a prescribe. So they make accounting as an economic tool for recording and reporting, nothing more. But for the positivists or people from the positivist approach, see, they treat accounting is more in more advanced manner. Okay, so positive approach says that positive approach neither describe nor prescribe. Okay, rather this approach goes beyond it by predicting and explaining accounting phenomena study. Okay, so as I said before, accounting is dynamic. Okay, and it change according to change in social and economic environment. There will be many new issues that accountant need to confront. So there are many issues. Keep the new issue, the confrontation keep coming over accounting system. Okay, so we need to respond to that new issue. Therefore, using the positive approach, we would be able to predict the phenomena. What will happen if this happens? What happened to B if A if happened to A? If A change, what happened to the B? Okay? That is the question can be answered by the positive approach. So this theory is not prescriptive, because prescriptive is based on logical reasoning. What is the best? Prescriptive is we call it a bias toward the prescriptor. Okay, what the prescriptor say right, and we have to follow. Okay, especially when the prescriptor has a legal power to regulate the rule. But in the positive approach, this group become neutral. They are not biased to what they believe. Okay, so they need to prove on what they believe based on the empirical study. Okay, based on empirical study that use the scientific research method. Okay, the theory is empirical based, where it may use the scientific research method. Because previously, during the normative era, okay, there was no scientific research method were applied in accounting research. Okay, only in sciences, only in pure sciences. There was no accounting. At that time, only normative paper, only normative approach, okay, was numerous. I mean, was excessively used at that time. So then the positivists came up. In accounting setting, is labeled as a positive accounting theory. Okay, so positive approach in accounting setting is called or is labeled as positive accounting theory of fact. Right. So the success of positive theory, okay, the success of positive theory in predicting and explaining in particular phenomena need to be assessed based on observation. When I say observation, based on the research, that is observing how theory prediction responded with the observed fact. Okay, or sometimes people call it as a theory testing based on empirical design. Okay, based on the empirical research design. So later on, I'll be showing you about one or two particular positive accounting theory. Okay, so that I hope you can more understand about it. So this is a positive approach. Okay, positive approach in accounting So first, let's say they have a phenomena, ambiguity in phenomena. They need to seek a truth. Okay, mau mencari kebenaran tentang satu isu. And first of all, they need to find what is a relevant and appropriate theory. Okay, to to solve a problem, right? So therefore, they need to identify a relevant theory to the context of the study. So make sure you find appropriate theory, okay, or correct theory. From the theory, you understand the theory, the explanation of the theory, the concept of the theory, and then you find that the theory fit the problem of your study, and you start to formulate the prediction based on the theoretical reasoning. You can say that A affect B, okay, or B affect C, A, B, C affect D, okay? You start to formulate the hypothesis, the direction of the relationship. Something that you believe that could happen because of the change in something else. And then once you formulate the hypothesis and you observe, okay, by collecting and analyzing data. And importantly, okay, remember that the most important thing is in positive approach is a data. It's a data. Okay, without having data, you cannot call it as empirical. Okay, and you cannot call it empirical. It will be just your own personal opinion about that. Okay, maybe preconception, just a conception of finding, or just a conception discussion. So you need data. So data you can collect in accounting. You can collect data from annual report or from the stock market. Okay, share price or profit, cash flow. So whatever data that are relevant to your objective of the study. Okay, remember that. So there's no data in the normative approach. And then last stage in the positive approach is the confirmation. We have whether your finding confirm the theory, whether your finding confirm the theory, or you can say whether the theory is proven to be true, okay, based on your finding, and you need to explain that. So from that, this is a new finding in the accounting knowledge. So that make the accounting knowledge grow bigger, because there are always new findings in accounting. Okay, please indicate the respective theory to the situation below. I have a 3 situation here. Women should spend 2/3 of their time at home to prevent children mental problems. Women stay at home than men. Women who are spending more time at home will have smarter children. Okay. Which theory appropriate for the situation 1? Muhammad Arif, are you there? Any answer? Can you answer me?
Yes, sir. Can you repeat the question?
Number 1, which theory appropriate to explain the situation number 1? Women should spend 2/3 of their time at home to prevent children mental problems. Okay. This is a normative theory, isn't it? This is a normative theory because they just prescribe. Okay, there's no empirical evidence that staying at home with a children mental problem. Okay, there's no empirical based evidence, but they just prescribe based on their own judgment, based on their own idealism. Okay, that is called a normative approach of theory. Understand? Number two, situation two. More women stay at home than men. What theory that most appropriate for the situation two? It's a descriptive, isn't it? The descriptive. They just describe what people doing at home. Okay, mean women staying at home more than. Okay. And number three, women who are spending more time at home will have smarter children. This is a positive approach because they predict. Okay, they predict. They're not prescribe. They just predict. We'll have smarter children. And to prove whether this is correct or wrong, whether this statement is correct or wrong, need to be empirically investigate. You need to collect data. A woman, how many? Women stay at home, and women not staying at home, and you have to compare whether which group has smarter children, and then you have to prove whether your theory, this theory is correct or not. Okay, so that is the first part of this lecture. Okay, the original of the account, what is accounting, what is a theory, what is accounting theory, the originality of the accounting theory. Okay, and before I go to the second part, can I have break 5 minutes, Chairman?
Okay.
Okay, just 5 minutes. Okay, all right.
Okay. Okay. So during the break, so hopefully all of you can relax, and also maybe you can prepare your questions, because sometimes the questions come up during the presentation. So that's why. So all of you, please prepare your questions, and then you can ask to Dr. Mara at the end of his presentation, inshallah. Okay. So overall, all of you, how's the situation? How's the situation? How's the class? Is it helpful to you more understand about the financial accounting theory? Anyone say it? Anyone say something? Is it clear? So my student for 5th semester in accounting theories class. So all of you can understand our discussion today. So hopefully you can find a new insight from this section. Okay. Anyone say something maybe before Dr. Mara starting again for his speech? Oh, what's that? So is it clear, all of you? Is it very clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear. Okay,
Yes, sir.
good.
It's clear.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir. So far clear.
So far clear. So maybe you can ask the question, maybe the same like question that you asked me the was, because sometimes this question is the same, right? So this is new discussion for you. Talking about the financial accounting theory, because our discussion today with Dr. Mara, we talk about financial accounting theory approach. So this is I'm currently I'm not really what we call it deeply understand about the financial accounting theory, but based my experience also, we talking about the accounting theory itself. So I mentioned before in our class that if accounting theory is developed from the research, so maybe the organizational culture, maybe, so it can be. So this depends on how we look the perspective of the accounting theory itself. Okay, maybe you can take a cup of coffee for a while, and also maybe you can go to the bathroom first to wash your face. Maybe you need to touch the water in your face, then you can got the fresh. Okay, because I don't know where's my student, because in the beginning of my class I'm not look at my student itself. So I still remember only one, Muhammad Arif. Just now, I think I know him. Muhammad Arif Nur, so I know him that, but I don't know its others. Okay, because fifth semester I didn't see the student exactly. Okay, you take rest a bit, so we can continue then. So maybe anyone want to say something? Anyone want to say something? This is break, so it's relax, bro. It's relax, bro. The sister don't like freeze. You try to freeze yourself. Don't be freeze, right? Jangan kaku. Okay, so please relax because this break. So you wanted to say something maybe to your friend, or maybe you want to say something to the Mbak Irfa. So please, hopefully you are keep quiet because okay, right?
Sir,
Yep.
so so this material is slightly different with your material in our classes or related with our material in class?
Ah, that's a good question. If you look at from the first or second slide, I think it's we have the same same what we call that same the opinion, right? Talking about the accounting theory itself. Okay, I think it's yeah, similar, but not really hold the same the material. But I think this is the part of the accounting theories itself. So you can improve lah. You can you can improve that your what we call that your knowledge with this material, because this is talking about the financial accounting theory.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. So hopefully you are keep quiet because you are prepared for the question. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully. So in the end of the in the end of this section, hopefully you, I can see your voice and the question. Okay.
Shall we restart? Shall we restart? Resume our lecture today?
How, doctor?
Can we resume our lecture today? Can we start?
Okay, we can resume that, I think.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody.
Okay.
I'm already, you know, I need to twist and move my body around, so I cannot sit 1 hour straight.
This is because because we have to what we call that, we have to work at home, so that's why.
Yeah.
It's different, like maybe in our university someday we can move the other place. So if at home, I think we like freeze, you know.
That is the bad thing when we have a class online, no?
But the pandemic COVID-19 already, how many months? About 6 months already. I mean, we can adjust already.
So yeah, we have been in teaching online since April this year.
Yeah. I think I think the last to Malaysia, I think it was in February, I think, and the last my flight to Malaysia, and then in March. So my campus IIUM is closed for foreigners. So we
Yeah.
have to do that.
All right. Now we are focusing particularly on the positive accounting theory.
Yep.
Okay. Positive theory is a proof of I mean, what I call it? Positive theory is a proof of of seeking truth. Okay. Positive approach is a way, okay, of seeking the truth through empirical observation. Okay. Now we take a similar sum, the similar idea, the similar concept into accounting, and we call it positive accounting theory. In other words, how the truth, okay, in accounting, okay, is discovered using, okay, and so-called positive accounting theory. So, PAC, or positive accounting theory, was firstly popularized by Watts and Zimmerman. Okay, Watts is from Australia, Professor Watts wrote, and Zimmerman's from, I can't, from UK or US, I can't remember. Okay, and both of them were inspired by positivist economic researcher Friedman, okay, in 1965. Okay, and they cited in fact that is concerned with explaining accounting practice. It is designed to explain and predict which firm will and which firm will not use a particular method. It was originally, okay, conducted by economic researcher, not accounting researcher, the Friedman. Okay, so PAT can be considered as the first scientific method to understand accounting phenomena that was previously dominated by normative approach. Okay, during 1940 to late 1950, all the papers related to accounting was written by normative people, just the guideline and rule in accounting. There no scientific paper. There were no empirical based paper at that time. So Watts and Zimmerman saw this as the flaw in accounting area. Okay, so that's why they started to use a positive approach in doing research in accounting. So the interest of study within PAC is centered around the question about what are the motives behind accounting choices among the reporting firm or among accountants? Were they because of economic or political motive? And what the effect would be arising from their choice? Okay, so the question is more advanced. Okay, more advanced. So PAC is not concerned about the next best norm or ideal practice of accountant as normative suggested. So rather, PAC look at how accountants behave in a while. Okay, the behavior is more to look the behavior of accountant. Okay, in accordance with the changes of the economic and environment, economic and social environment. Okay. So the original of positive accounting theory. Okay. Remember, okay. Please remember these 2 points is really important for the PAC. PAC was drawn from 2 central theories. Okay. I think this is something common in research field, that a theory is originated from other theory. Okay, this is something common. So PAC, that's why we call it research. You know, we don't call it search. It's research. This we explain that we continue the previous work. So PAC was drawn from 2 central theories that emerged in economic and management literature. Okay, namely efficient market hypothesis is from academic theory or from academic researcher, and agency theory from management researcher. Okay, so originally, okay, this theory were nothing to do with the account, but was then it then was applied in accounting setting. So let's start with the efficient market hypothesis. Efficient market hypothesis, he postulated that capital market is a people, investor in capital market, react efficiently and in unbiased manner to publicly available information. Okay, this study was done by Wall and Brown in 1968. Okay, They studied the effect of earning announcement on share price and found a relationship. Okay, that means when the company make announcement about the profit, about the financial statement, about the financial information, the investor react with the information, okay, by buying the share, for example, okay, and the share value increase. So, Watt and Zimmerman look at this relationship, and they say that accounting is something that relates to the accounting, because earning announcement is a real accounting, something to do with the accounting, isn't it? Okay, because of the earning announcement is domain of accounting, thus many believe that this model could be expanded to study more accounting investment in capital market using scientific manner, positive approach to provide some scientific evidence. Okay, for example, what the effect of the cash flow information or the share price? What effect of the fair value information or the share price? What effect of intangible asset on the share price? And recently, people also look at what the effect of narrative voluntary disclosure, like CSR, corporate social responsibility information, and environmental reporting on the share price. Okay, that is how positive accounting theory came from. Okay, it started with the idea in the efficient market hypothesis by Ball and Brown. Right. It started with the capital market with the share price, and now it expanded to any other information. Okay. But there are flaws in efficient, not flaws, limitation in efficient market hypothesis. However, efficient market hypothesis alone does not consider the choices of accounting method the accountant and manager have in reporting information. This hypothesis is actually a theory. This hypothesis, okay, never mentioned about accounting choice, okay? Because the purpose of the theory is not about the accounting behavior. That's what I said. Some theory doesn't fit all, okay? Doesn't fit all. So this hypothesis doesn't mention, doesn't postulate, doesn't predict about the accounting behavior. This theory just predict the investor behavior over announcement, about the profit information announcement. So the fact that, okay, there is the fact that accountant manager can control corporate. For example, they can disclose good news and hide bad news. They can select accounting method which produce information that fit capital market expectation. In other words, they control the accounting information. Accountant can control accounting information. They can choose, they can select whatever they want to report. And they may report some information, and they may not report some others. Okay, and it's about choices, and which is beyond postulation from efficient market hypothesis. Therefore, this phenomena, this limitation thing can be further understood and predicted by associating it with the agency theory. And what is agency theory all about? Okay, agency theory is a management theory. You can see the paper by Jackson and Mackley in 1976 from the management field. The basic premise in agency theory, okay, this theory, agency theory is quite complicated actually, but just give you a basic premise. Because we have agency theory type 1, agency theory type 2, so macam-macam. So the basic premise number 1 is separation between principal is shareholder and agent management. Okay, this is apparent when in the era of industrial revolution. We know that in industrial revolution, okay, there are many capitalists, capitalists from Jews, Jews capitalists. They have a lot of money, okay, but they don't have a time to manage directly their business. Therefore, they just buy the share in cooperation, okay, and they appoint management to board of directors to manage their business, right? And this is absolutely separation of function between agent and management, okay? That's the fact. It will happen now. So agent is expected, okay, and agent is delegated and instructed to act on behalf of the principal. That's a common sense, isn't it? When you appoint agent, the agent must act on behalf of you, not on behalf of the agent. Okay. However, unfortunately, this theory says that agent is seen to be self-interest. I mean, penting diri, isn't it? Self-interest, and have an opportunistic behavior. Okay, they in favor. Okay, they act in favor of their own rather than for the principle, which eventually resulting agency problem. Okay, many types of agency problem. And also, okay, this problem give an agency cost. And one of agency costs is information asymmetry. Information asymmetry means that accountant or manager have more information than the principal. Okay, they have more information than principal. What I mean, this is, we call it information asymmetry. It in unequal distribution of information. Okay, so a contract has to be formed to reduce the agency cost. That means principal may introduce incentive or punishment to agent. Okay, if agent act well, they give incentive. If agent don't act well, okay, for principal, they will get punishment. Okay, and normally whether incentive or punishment, okay, is tied with the accounting figures. For example, if you give more profit, I give you bonus. If you give me loss, I punish you. So there are a lot of incentive and punishment. Okay, this is the basic premises in the agency theory. So agency theory then can be looked by efficiency perspective and opportunistic perspective. Efficiency perspective say that some incentive can be put in front to minimize agency cost. This is the efficiency. In other words, principal can promise to give bonus, compensation, okay, or for any good performance shown by agent. And can also be looked by opportunistic perspective, where agent opportunistic behavior still undertaken by agent, even though incentives are put in place. Because of the self-interest, you know, agent always looking for the loophole, looking for opportunity, okay, to cheat the principal. And how how the efficiency market hypothesis and agency theory can come in tandem, can come together. So managers and accountants are considered to take action for self-profit maximization, which lead to agency problem. Okay, so this is what the agency theory says. Okay, managers and accountants, so accordingly, managers and accountants believe that capital market will reward them or punish them. We reward them for the good news and punish them for the bad news, or may sometimes punish them for being silent. okay, or being silent. So managers believe based on the efficiency market hypothesis. If manager produce good news to investor, what's the good news? Higher profit, lower cost, higher ROI, lower leverage, for example, higher EPS, anything about good news. All right. So make the investor happy and they can buy the share. Okay. And at the same time, manager can be rewarded by the investor, by the existing investor. Okay. Based on the bonuses or compensation. All right. So in the capital market, information supply becomes competitive. Okay, become competitive. Investor will find a company. Investor will buy a share from company who disclose more information. And investor do not buy, or they might sell exit share from company who choose to be silent or who choose to be reporting less. Okay, that is, we call it competitive information in capital market. Therefore, okay, based on the positive approach, managers and accountants, therefore are predicted to adopt accounting method that would produce good news and then rewarded by capital market. This becomes more apparent in information asymmetry system. Okay? So now I hope you understand, okay, how we can associate efficiency market hypothesis and agency theory together, okay, and predict what will happen, okay, by using the positive approach. Okay, okay, right. Any questions so far? No question. All right. Can financial reporting standard prevent agency problem? What is the agency problem here? Is information asymmetry. Can or not? We have a financial reporting standard produced by normative people. Okay. Ideally, yes. We have a lot of accounting standard to say blah, blah, blah. Okay, to provide guidelines to ensure the accounting information can prepare and can report true and fair information, okay, and so on and so on. Yes, ideally, yes, but wait. Remember that accounting standard only set a minimum requirement of information disclosure. Okay, set a minimum. And to some extent, it gives option of flexibility to which method the accountant prefers. Standard sometimes in the accounting standard, it's a rule based. Okay, it's a principle based. Okay, not everything can be covered in the accounting standard. Okay, sometimes they give an option and some flexibility to accountant to disclose, to treat, to measure accounting information. There are also loopholes in accounting standard that are exposed to the manipulation, right? Remember that. So this phenomena is a cake for the self-interest accountant. Okay, it's a cake for the self-interest accountant. So beyond the minimum, accountants are free to disclose whatever information that fit their self-interest. Okay. So literatures, accounting literatures, you can find them. So many accounting literatures show that there are many schemes of accounting were used, okay, to serve the purpose, to serve what I said here. For example, earning management. Okay, earning management. Earning management is a method how accountants smooth their income, how accountants shift the income from current year to the next year, from next year bring to the current year, okay, bring backward to the current year, based on certain method, based on certain formula. I'm not familiar with the earning management. I read the papers, a few papers before, but I can't remember. We call it accrual, discretionary accrual and non-discretionary accrual method, things like that. All right, but it's not platform to discuss the technical aspect. Okay, so that is how they work. That is how positive accounting theory works, right? But never forget that fact is not a judgmental theory. It's nothing to do with the ethic, moral, or greed. So that theory is not judgmental to say that accountant is a greed, is unethical, immoral, and so on and so forth. The theory just tells us what is happening in reality based on the empirical observation within the accounting ecosystem. And it's up to you, it's up to the researcher to make your own judgment, to make their own judgment about the reality that you discovered from the research. Okay, remember that. Okay, we still have how many? About half an hour. All right.
Yeah, half an hour. So you still have time about 20 minutes.
All right. So right under the three hypotheses. Okay. The idea of positive accounting theory. Okay, and then can be further expanded into three hypotheses. This is a very unique, very interesting hypothesis that you can learn from. Okay. First is a bonus plan hypothesis. Okay, this is by Haley 1985. Debt covenant hypothesis and political cost hypothesis, right? Okay, first is bonus plan hypothesis. Okay, still based on the EMH and IGC theory. Bonus plan hypothesis, accounting-based numbers commonly used measure performance and is strongly tied with the bonus incentive due to its objectively measurable and verifiable. Okay, this is common in business sector, in corporate sector, that management is compensated, is rewarded based on the performance that they give to the shareholder. Okay, and normally performance is measured, bonus is rewarded, is given based on the performance, and performance normally is strongly tied with the accounting number, like a profit, like what else, ROI, like cash flow, okay, many things, many accounting numbers. Because accounting numbers is very objective and verifiable, okay, and also manipulative. So, this induce manager to manipulate accounting numbers. Okay, remember that information asymmetry that allow managers to manipulate accounting numbers. And I believe it happened to Indonesia as well. So managers with bonus plan will likely to adopt accounting technique that shift reported income from future period to current period in order to obtain the bonus of compensation. Okay, that's their motive. So accounting scheme involves such as changing accounting policy, managerial discretionary, and accrual accounting. So we have a specific topic about the bonus plan hypothesis. If you want to know more about the bonus plan hypothesis, you can read article from your library, or you can Google it. Okay, this is some empirical finding, okay, from the Haley 1985, and what Haley summarized from his research was that it said that when bonus scheme existed that rewarded manager after pre-specific level of profit had been reached, the manager would adopt accounting method consistent with maximizing bonus. In situation where the profit were not expected to reach minimum level required by the bonus plan in any way, the manager appeared to adopt strategy that further reduce income in the period, but would lead to higher income in subsequent period when profit is considered achievable for bonus. Okay, so that means when manager find that in 1 year that the profit is not achievable for the bonus, so that to reduce the profit. Okay, what they have, what they did, they shift the current profit to the next year. They accumulate the profit to the next year, so that the profit is larger to get a bonus. Okay, of course, based on a certain accounting scheme, which is I'm not mentioning here. And the other empirical finding about the bonus plan hypothesis is that from the Levelland, US manager that approaching retirement were less likely to undertake R&D expenditure if their reward were based on accounting-based performance. This was due to the fact that investment in R&D need to be expensed off in profit and loss account, which end up with the reduced profit. Okay, so US manager, when they are almost retired, okay, then they'll invest in R&D because at that time, according to accounting standard, when they invest in R&D, R&D is a huge amount of money. That amount needs to be expensed off, and this will reduce the profit and loss. This will reduce profit. Okay, this will reduce profit in the income statement. When the profit is when the reported profit reduced income statement, the managers won't be rewarded. Okay, that is the motive. And the second thing is we call it debt covenant hypothesis. Okay, debt covenant is a number of restrictions. What is debt covenant? Debt covenant is a number of restrictions set by agreement between borrowers and lending institutions. Leverage, ROI, liquidity, excessive dividend payout, and so on. Okay, so this is just a syarat, you know, it's a term set by the financial institution. For example, lenders or company have to ensure that they have a very low leverage, no more loan after this. Okay, we have to make sure that they have a liquidity in terms of operating cash flow, so that interest payment can be safeguarded. Make sure that there is no excessive dividend payout to the shareholder, okay, to protect the interest payment, to protect the principal payback. Okay, this is a covenant set by the lenders, by the financial institution. So, and then the credit risk of borrower is assessed from time to time to ensure that that covenant are satisfied. Okay, and failure to comply with the debt covenant can result in earlier maturity or high interest to compensate this.
What was that?
Blender.
Oh.
My wife.
Oh, okay.
My wife blender.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry, so I'm really sorry about that. No problem.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay.
Okay. Encountering the same problem, right?
Yes, because sometimes its voice is come out with the online. So we cannot ignore that.
Because it's a lunch time. My wife preparing for lunch.
Oh,
okay.
Oh.
Right. Failure to comply with debt covenant. Okay. One of the terms failure to comply with debt covenant is that liquidity is getting low, profit is getting low. Okay, can result in earlier maturity. Okay, company may call back. The bond, for example, and you need to pay within 6 months or 12 months. All right, or maybe higher interest rate. Maybe impose the higher interest rate to compensate the risk. So therefore, the earlier maturity lead to the reclassification debt from non-current to current. And this will negatively impact on the liquidity ratio. And eventually, will affect the potential borrowing, okay, from the bank. Therefore, what this hypothesis said, a firm with high debt distress will likely to adopt accounting scheme to shift future profit to the current period and report more asset. Okay, and by reporting more profit and asset in current period, the firm is less likely to default or to be seen default the debt covenant and run a firm with a minimum debt constraint. Okay, some American finding, for example, by Sweeney in 1994, as the firm approaching violation of debt agreement, measures have a greater propensity to adopt income increasing strategy compared to firms that are not approaching technical default. Okay, so that means with the company almost to be a bankrupt, okay, they engage in accounting scheme, special accounting scheme, by pulling back, isn't it? The net profit to the current profit. Okay, For example, the firm may adopt LIFO cost flow assumption for inventory or change assumption in pension liability. That is a summary, okay, mentioned by the screening. Okay. The third hypothesis is a political cost hypothesis. It's very interesting. Large firms are publicly and politically visible. Okay, large firm or large size of firm. Normally, large firm can be measured by the size of the asset, by the profit, and every country has a large firm, isn't it? Okay, and always scrutiny by various groups. Okay, because why? Because large firm seem to be manipulating public, manipulating consumer, okay, over their monopoly power, for example. So this must exposure to the political threat, such as higher and new tax by government. Okay, this is a political threat. Okay, when you are politically visible and publicly visible, the company is exposed to the political threat. For example, higher and new taxes, new regulation, subsidy cut by government. Okay, price, you need to cut the price for customer, or maybe nationalization. I mean, your company may be taken over by the government or taken over by the GLC. All right, public criticism, customer boycotting, etc. This is a sin of being too large. This is a sin of being making huge profit, making huge profit. Okay, something we call it jealous, isn't it? Jealous, yeah. So large profit-making firms therefore are pressured to redistribute their wealth to employee, to society. When they're making too large profit, isn't it? They are pressured to redistribute, to give back their profit to the employee in whatever form, to society, environment, in CSR, for example, as well as to do a political donation. So to avoid political costs, okay, the company therefore are predicted to select accounting method to reduce the profit by deferring profit from current period to future period in order to minimize political cost. Or sometimes they just smoothing their income, okay, to ensure that their income not far above the industry average. Okay, let's say we have a 5 company in one industry. Okay, normally the ROI around 5 to 6%. Your company is making huge profit. Let's say you're making profit out ROI, let's say 15% or 20%. So now you are politically visible. So in order to reduce the threat from the political cost, the company enter into an accounting scheme. They are trying to smoothing the income, make sure that the average income of ROI instead of ROI within the range of the industry rate, not more than that. Okay, and then now particularly from the concept of political cost has also been applied in social system theory, such as legitimacy theory and stakeholder theory. For example, in study of corporate social reporting, environmental reporting. Maybe someone else can explain more about the legitimacy theory and stakeholder theory. This theory is really prominent in accounting study, especially when people doing master in accounting or PhD in accounting. For example, a study by Campbell in 2004, corporate disclosure on environmental issues showed upward trend after Alaska oil spill incident in 1969 in order to regain legitimacy status. Okay, so this is a form of the positive accounting theory. That this company, what happened in 1969 in Alaska Oil, one of the oil company, a big oil company, is ExxonMobil, spill out a huge amount of crude oil into the Alaska Ocean, and it will cost about 3 to 4 billion USD just to clean up. Okay, just to clean up the ocean, and about another 3 billion US dollar just to pay compensation. Okay, just to pay compensation as decided by court. So this risk of a company that doing oil and gas business. Okay, so there's a risk, not a risk for the investor, but also risk for the people, for the public, for the environment. Therefore, public need to assess the performance of the company in relation to the environmental performance. That is the reason why company, increasingly report environmental issues or environmental information in annual report, just to reduce any potential threat or political cost in the future, on top of that to regain the legislative status within, from the community of society. All right. What is contribution of PAC? Solution to accounting reporting practice. Okay. PAC, although is some people can say it's an academic theory, all right, but it can be applied. Okay, it can contribute to practicality in terms of, accountants should be transparent in covering financial information in order to benefit higher share return and lower cost of debt. Okay, normative people can introduce, can propose whatever information they suggest to be good. Okay, but it has to be empirically proven either the information is good or not. Okay, and this can only be done by positive approach. Okay, and company can also identify opportunistic behavior of manager. Therefore, principal can design, control, and contract to mitigate agency problem. Okay, so agency problem is not just a theory, but it can empirically explain the agency behavior, which at the end give provide an industry some insight how to design a contract, okay, to mitigate agency problem. And agency theory can also useful for restructuring corporate governance. So because of corporate governance is important to ensure that, good corporate governance is important to ensure that the interest of principal can be achieved, okay, without with a less or minimal impact of the agency from the agency problem. Okay, that's if you can find that there are many studies on corporate governance using agency theory. Okay, and lastly, my conclusion. Okay, positive accounting theory has shed some light on the way we look at accounting discipline. Okay, remember that accounting is not cannot be limited and cannot be seen just a tool for the business. Okay, all right. So accounting is not merely about what do and don't in practice. Rather, accounting has a dynamic substance in it, which influence and being influenced by economic and social system. This requires serious scientific method to seek the truth about it. And by doing this, we can expand the knowledge about accounting, about accountant, about system surrounding, system surrounding the accounting. And lastly, positive and normative approach, I think, make a complement to each other. It's not mutually exclusive. Okay, we cannot take one and drop one, so, but complement to each other. That's it from me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mara. Also was amazing. You can reach 11 exactly in the time. So,
Yeah, on time, isn't it?
Yeah, so
It's never happened in
exactly.
my life. I can finish on time.
Okay, good. This is good. Okay, okay. For the participants, for everyone, now we have still time, about 30 minutes, and any one of you, you can ask the question from to Dr. Mara, and you can, I don't know, I'm not sure that I can show your picture. Maybe you can, maybe three participants you can ask from now. Anyone?
Me,
Hello.
me,
Okay. Rahma.
yes.
Okay, Rahma. Yeah. Okay. The first one. Okay. You can ask to Dr. Mara.
So my question is how the most effective way that we know the theory we should take use whether it should be in accordance with local financial transactions or can choose with international financial standard transactions.
Your voice is broken.
Yeah. You can
Yeah.
you can repeat,
You
Sister
can
Rahma.
type the message. I can you can type in the message in the text, is it?
Yeah.
Where is it?
So I can type the questions.
Okay. You try to repeat one more, and then if the your
One
sound is
more time.
okay, you can repeat one more time.
Okay. So my question is how the most effectiveness way we can know what theory we should use, whether it should be in accordance with local financial transactions or can choose by international financial standard transactions.
So how's Dr. Mara? So the question is talking about in what way we have to find the theory in accordance to the like financial report in the local financial reporting. Maybe like in Indonesia we have like PSAK, pedoman standar keuangan. I think in Malaysia also have like that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
Malaysian
For
standard report.
international.
Yeah.
Mm.
So in what way we have to find the theory in based on the financial reporting, based on the local, international.
Okay. As I said, theory is stable and must be universal in nature. Okay. So it can apply in any context of country. Malaysia, it can apply in Indonesia. Right? But let's say you have to take agency theory. So you can apply and you want to study about corporate governance. Okay, and you may use agency theory in Indonesia. But you need to associate with the Indonesia setting by what I call it by the local setting is a problem of your study. Okay, it's a problem of your study, and your problem of your study can be solved using a universal theory. Let's say agency theory. Understand what I mean? Okay, the problem must be local contact. Okay, must be local contact, real contact. I mean, the problem is really happen, not just a creation. Okay, not just a gut feeling. Must be a real problem. Okay, and then you can apply any theory that relevant from the local problem. I hope I'm answering the question.
So is this answering your question, Sister Rahma?
Yes, that's clear. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I think I want to like to highlight that it's meant that Dr. Mara said that if we have the problem in the local financial reporting, for example, so we can use like in what theory we want, right?
Yeah.
Not we see that from the international financial reporting standard, but we can use the problem also using the local, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can share with you. I have a PhD student
Mhm.
from Indonesia. She just graduated. Okay, graduated from PhD. So what we did is that to study the effect of the labor union, okay, on the CSR and the financial performance. Okay, we use stakeholder theory, and stakeholder theory is universal theory, but we adapt the theory or we adopt the theory into the local context because we see that there are many problems about the labor market in Indonesia in terms of welfare, in terms of health and safety, in terms of salary, in terms of planning, so many measurements, so many issues. And what is the effect of labor union on the relationship between CSR to employee and performance and company performance. So yes, I use a stakeholder theory, but importantly, the problem comes from the local perspective.
Okay. Thanks, Dr. Amara, for your explanation. Or for the next second question, anyone?
Me, sir.
Okay, raise your hand. I think. Okay, who's that? Agung Gigi or
Bella.
who? Okay, Agung Gigi Mutawandi. Okay, you can turn on your camera, and also you can. Which one? Bella or Agung Gigi? This one. Which one?
Bella, sir.
Okay, oh, Bella. Okay, Bella. You can ask the Dr. Mara.
Okay, Bella.
Yes. I would like to ask about how the cultures can affect the recording process of financial reports and in what dimensions the cultures affect it. And could you please give the example of national culture impact in Malaysia?
Okay.
Causes? You mean causes?
Okay. You can slow down.
Okay.
Okay. For the first question is okay.
How cultures can affect the recording process of financial reports?
How culture can be
Culture.
Yeah, culture
Cultures
can be applied in
can
the
give impact to the
oh,
recording process of the
can give
financial reports.
can give how's the culture can give to the financial
The
reporting
recording process of financial reports.
or recording the financial reporting.
I don't have answer for that. I just put a question. The way we're doing research, positive accounting research, for example, how the culture affect accounting information preparation, for example. I don't have the answer. And we need to do a research to find the answer. But what I was trying to say that is the way we're doing a positive approach in conducting research in an accounting.
Okay, so it's mean that if we don't you don't have any
don't do
answer.
research in culture.
Oh, okay,
but
okay.
I think some there are many studies doing that. So you need to find from, I mean, just from internet.
Internet. Okay, the scholar maybe, or maybe Google scholar. Okay, okay. That's the answer from Dr. Mara Bella. So I think Dr. Mara cannot explain exactly, but just need to do research exactly about the culture. That can give impact to the financial reporting. Okay, Bella. Okay. For the second question, you have 3 questions, right? Just now you say culture, and also the second one what?
Yeah, actually it's connecting to each other. So if Dr. Mara said that I have to do that we have to do the research, and then I think I will cancel these questions.
Oh, okay, okay. You cancel the second question because the first question is not getting the answer right. Okay. Okay. So next question from Agung Gigi. Okay, Agung Gigi. Oh my God. Okay, you can turn on your camera and Dr. Mara can see you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What happened there?
Okay. Can you
Okay.
hear my voice, sir?
Okay, we can hear your voice.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. My name is Anggung Gigi, and I want to ask you, Mr. Mara, and if I'm not mistaken, in the beginning you said that you are doing research about the relation about the company which publish no report in the social media and stock price movement, right? And my question is, sometimes I found the price of stock will be increased when those company have some news or publish something in the social media or internet. And how can accounting theory explain about this problem or this situation, or which theory that related about this one?
Okay, actually my student use EMS, efficient market hypothesis. Okay, saying that in Malaysia we have semi-strong market behaviors where investor can get information, okay, from published information, okay, from the published information, and information in the Twitter or in the Twitter mostly is considered as published information. Okay, so that's why. So I'm using efficient market hypothesis within the semi-strong market. Okay, but we haven't completed yet. We are still collecting the data. Okay, because so much information. I mean, financial information in Twitter done by commercial company.
Okay. Okay. Is it answer your question, brother Agung Gigi?
I think it can be concluded that the stock price will be moved if there is some news or something that published by company.
Yeah. I hope that's what I predict. What is the actual result? Okay, it's haven't complete yet, so I haven't known that.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So let us study further. Okay. Okay. Next. Okay. Is it clear? Brother, is it clear?
Okay, sir. It's clear.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. So still we have time. Okay. Anyone else want to ask?
I want to ask.
Okay. Who is that?
Ruth.
Oh, Ruth. Okay. Okay, Ruth. Okay. You can say, you can ask to Dr. Mara directly.
Yeah, I want to the accounting.
Here.
Okay. I think the internet is not stable. The signal is unstable.
I wonder how the environment can affect the accounting.
How's the environment can affect accounting?
What environment you mean?
When you are defining accounts, you mentioned about the dynamic.
So that's a general statement. How the environment affect accounting, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Just give you example. Okay. If because of this question is general, so I can answer in general as well. Previously, we were in the revolution industry, 1960s, isn't it? And most of the value, of the company came from fixed asset, okay, like the logic, plant, land, machine, big machine, massive machine. Okay, so accounting for PPE, plant, property, equipment, is really important. Okay? At that time, about depreciation, so on and so forth. At that time, there's less people talk about intangible asset, about branding, about patent, about a license, you know. Okay, so there was no much accounting standard or kettle about the issue. Okay, And then when came to the knowledge economy, okay, we'll talk about the intangible asset that create value to the company. The problem is that intangible asset is very intangible asset. It has a very strict criterion, okay, to be recorded or to be reported in the financial statement. Okay. So now, because of the value of the business, okay, keep changing from tangible to intangible asset, and of course, accounting treatment need to be correspondent to the change as well. Okay, so daily, there's an issue in accounting about how to measure and record intangible value of the asset. Okay, so some people introduce about human resource accounting, intellectual capital accounting. Okay, that is the good point, a good effort. Okay, from accounting field. I mean, from the accounting researcher. I mean, to accommodate the change. Okay, even though the issue have not been resolved yet, but at least they show to us that accounting has changed. Okay, in corresponding change in the economic structure. So there is a general answer that I can give you about the how environment change, how environment affects the accounting. And just like slide that I show you about the case in the oil spill over, okay? oil spill in the ocean, The incident, okay, the incident has created awareness among corporate sector to come up with what we call it environmental accounting, or what we call it green accounting, or carbon accounting. Okay, so green accounting, environmental accounting, carbon accounting, whatever you name it, okay, whatever you name it, is a response to the change of the pressure from the public about the environmental awareness. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Ausrod, is it answer your question?
Yes, yes.
So actually, intellectual capital, human resource is quite good to explain about tangible and intangible asset, something like that. Okay.
Sir, can I ask again?
Okay. Okay. So Ruth, it's okay. It's clear. Ruth, clear, right?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, clear. Okay. Okay. Next.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
I want to ask again because I want to continue about this topic, intellectual capital. Based on my understanding, intellectual capital, it is one of the intangible asset, right? And in the Malaysia, related about intangible asset, it is regulated by IFRS 130 Act, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
My question is there any regulation about intellectual capital in the Malaysia specifically?
No. We don't have any regulation about reporting and measuring intellectual capital. As Indonesia, and I think as in other countries as well, we only have FRS 38, isn't it? And 138 in Malaysia about the intangible asset. Okay, and when you talk about intellectual capital, it's the big coverage. The big coverage. So if you study intellectual capital, so you cannot limit studying in financial report. You need studying in other reports as well, not in the financial statement.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Okay. So next, another question. Still have time? Anyone else to ask to discuss with Dr. Mara?
Can I answer?
Okay. Oh, is that Anissa Rahma? Okay. Anissa Rahman. Okay.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We are all know about the earning management system.
All right.
The company increase their financial report to obtain their private gain. From the perspective of accounting theory, is it allowed or not? Thank you.
Accounting manipulative, okay, exists because of the accounting choices, flexibility in accounting standard, okay, and when they examine income smoothing, or earning management, they get data from published and audited annual report. That means there's no problem with the financial statement. Okay, it's allowed. Okay, so what I can say is that earning management sometimes is done within the legal. Is done within the permission of the accounting standard, right? It's called income smoothing. Okay, so you have to differentiate. You have to be able to differentiate between income smoothing and accounting fraud. Okay, accounting fraud is wrong, legally wrong, but income smoothing is legally right. Okay, because it's done by within permission of accounting standard. For example, like you manage income by change a FIFO to LIFO, for example. Okay, I mean, the thing like that, like tax avoidance and tax evasion, isn't it? Tax evasion is wrong. Tax avoidance is still right. Okay, still right. They just make use of the loophole that exists in the tax law, and also to the accounting. They use income smoothing or earning management by using the loophole that exists in the accounting standard. Okay, the accounting standard is a principle based, not the rule based. So it's subject to many interpretation and flexibility. Okay.
Oh, what was that? Okay. Is it clear, Sister Anissa Rahma?
Clear, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, anyone else? All the students,
Me,
participants?
sir. Me,
Okay,
sir.
who's that?
Maybe the last question, okay?
Okay,
I have a
maybe the
meeting.
last
Hikmah,
question.
sir.
Okay, this is the last question.
Okay.
Hikmah.
Yeah, yes, sir. I want to ask about now is the phenomena about the ICT, informatic and communication technology. So related with the disclosure of information accounting, how the positive accounting theory
can be used.
Yeah, using. Okay, yes, sir.
Yes.
Right. If you want to use positive accounting theory in ICT, it's very hard to answer it because I want to know what area, I mean, in specific area you want to study. For example, like say, the effect of, I don't know, because I'm not from the system. I'm not from the accounting system. For example, let's say, I give you, for example, the effect of, the effect of ICT use, the effect of auditor, the effect of auditor on the use of ICT. Okay, maybe you can postulate that company that use big four auditor as more sophisticated ICT compared to the company use small auditor. Okay, this I think just a simple example, lah. Okay, so this is how you can apply or make use positive accounting in studying ICT. Must be independent variable and must be dependent variable.
Yeah.
That's training.
Yeah. this is dependent on the variable we want to use, Sister Hikmah, because we cannot say that in what way that if
Yeah.
what technology, information system, something like that, in what theory we can use that, because sometimes we are using like a TKM, maybe quality management, or maybe we can use a organizational service orientation, maybe we don't know. So this depends on how it's education and how the problem and how's the issue want to show in your research. What exactly?
And remember that the positive accounting theory is just a general proof, the general theory. There are many theories that in line with positive accounting theory. So you cannot say that positive accounting is stand-alone. You have to use positive accounting theory. Agency theory is not positive accounting theory. No, it's the same. Okay, even you can use institutional theory. You can use we call it theory of result action. Yes, contingency theory.
Resource dependency theory. Resource dependency theory as a
RBV, resources dependency
theory
value, something like that. Resources dependency value theory. Yeah, RBV.
Oh, okay, sir. So the positive accounting theory not give the some recommendation just for we see or we approach for the some
approach
phenomena, sir.
The first accounting theory under the positive accounting theory, I think, is the bonus plan hypothesis.
Oh, okay. Then hypothesis.
Bonus plan, and we have three siblings in it.
Yep.
Okay. If you learn about positive accounting theory, they always give example of three brothers. Positive bonus plan, debt covenant, and political cost. Both have all hypotheses about prediction of the accounting behavior.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So I think this is the final our discussion today for general lecture. So thanks for Dr. Mara Ridhuan's your time. Thanks for having us today. Thanks for sharing every single knowledge you have about financial accounting theory exactly. Okay, so we can say thank you together to Dr. Mara, everyone, for his explanation. And I think this is from me. So hello. Okay.
Hello.
Okay. Okay. So this is I think I'm as a moderator here, so I'm sorry if I have a mistake during the presentation from Dr. Mara. So for me, thank you very much, Dr. Mara, for your time, and thanks for everyone for coming here, join online with IPAC, everyone. So for me, thank you as moderator. I will have Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So Sister Irfa, maybe.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Can I leave now?
Sorry, Dr. Mara, could we please take a picture once time before you leave?
Oh, all right, no problem.
Picture. So Dr. Mara, we have meeting.
And we want to take a picture before Dr. Mara is leaving our meeting. Ya, bisa sini. Dari situ kan. Okay. Freddy, Sharina, please turn on your camera. Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, done. Okay, Dr. Mara, thank you very much. And if you want to leave now.
Okay, my pleasure.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mara. Thank you very much.
All right, see you again.
See you.
Good luck, everybody.
Yep, you too.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Anum. See you again.
Yeah, see you.
Okay, Baru.
Yep.
See you in Malaysia, Dr. Baru.
Okay, see you in Malaysia.
And
Inshallah.
Dr. Anum, please come to Malaysia once the pandemic is over.
Yes, of course.
Inshallah.
All right, bye-bye. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Okay, thank you for Pak Bahrul and Bu Arum and all participants here for joining our events. Hope this event could increase our knowledge about accounting, accounting theory, and many things about positive accounting theory. Before we close, I think it's better we close by reciting Hamdalah all together.
Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay, and everyone please don't leave the WhatsApp group because we want to announce something there. Thank you, and we want to share the PowerPoint at our group. Goodbye.
Okay, goodbye for
Goodbye.
everyone.
Bye. Safe and healthy ya.
Ibu.
Ya.
Ibu.
Bila mana? Halo Dil. Tadi makan
Ibu.
apa?
Ingat,
Ibu,
jangan
Bu,
tapping.
Bu minta jajan, Bu.
Ini halo apa kabar? Ismira.
Telur orang tuh, Kak.
Hai, Mom.
Dis, how are you, Dis? Ardi, sama.
Halo, Mam.
Baik, Mem. Baik.
Aina, siapa lagi ya?
Ruth.
Ingat
Ruth.
saya,
Ruth. How's everything, Ruth? Good.
Bella. Apa kabar? Via, apa kabar, Via? Risti. Ruth, how are you? Laili.
Yes, Miss.
So, Bu Arum, how many students for foreigner?
Pardon?
How many students? How many students from foreigner? Three. So only Ruth.
Two in here already. One still in the back country there. Okay, can we leave now?
Okay, I can leave. Okay, see you. Inshallah.
Everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Leave.
Offline.
Ibu.
Goodbye.
Ibu, dadah.
Bye.
See you. Thank you.